Good morning from another day from the lovely trip from Iowa. And I have to say, from my morning adventures, that now the sun is rising at 6:30. And after my 3.5 hour commute, I've had so much to think about. So, I just drive and think, and gosh, love it. I'm about to go into, you probably can't see the building I go in, but it's that. So it's like a house, and it looks like the X-Men's mansion in there. And I say that a lot, but I feel like a mutant myself. So gosh, love it when I go in there. I kind of feel at home. But that being said, today what I wanted to talk about was just number one. I was thinking on my way up here, what makes a person an expert at the vagina? I was like, well, I don't know, but let me try to quantify how many vaginas I've looked at. So I was doing math as I was driving, and so then what I did is I wrote down, okay, so on average, I think I've had at least 50,000 encounters with a vagina, and that's lowballing it. And then I thought, how many encounters, I wonder, have I had with half-naked women over my lifetime? And that was at least 100,000. So that being said, I have had a lot of opportunities to sit and look at things and listen to people. And I love to group things into little categories that I hear frequently. And I just like to pass on what people are saying, because a lot of times I feel what we talk about in that situation that I normally get to talk to people about is what we really feel, but sometimes we're just scared to articulate. So this is what I would say about this week. So this week, what I had the opportunity to really think about was, I had some women in their 30s and then 40s and 50s, and just watching this transition, that what we go through, like from this 30-year-old woman, and I could identify that with myself, as there becomes this time in our mid 30s or late 30s, or I don't know exactly when it happens. Good morning. But what happens is we start realizing that we give a ton of energy away, and our body just has a hard time keeping up with it. And when we first make that realization, I think it makes us feel really dissociated with ourselves, because we feel like we're doing something wrong, or what's wrong with our body, or we identify with the fact that we give to everyone else, but we certainly don't return anything to our bodies or our own spirit, because we identify that we're helping everybody else, and that's what makes our lives, when really we're supposed to be part of our lives too. So I started feeling that way more like in my mid 30s and late 30s. And then you kind of realize, maybe I need to change something. And so the 30-year-old gal that I was talking to, was just, I think at first when you start thinking this, you start to feel like you're being lazy, or that your body's leaving you, or you can't be the woman you've always been. But that's really not what I was trying to get across to her. I was trying to get across to her is that it's a choice to be who you are, and to love yourself is a gift. And maybe it's just an opportunity now to learn that you matter too. And that is not a bad thing. That is actually a beautiful thing. And so the other thing I would say from a couple of other 40s and 50-year-old gals that I was talking to this week, and I would include myself in that, is that there's this other part of you too sometimes, that maybe you've been doing something your whole life that you think you identify with and makes you you, but there comes this time that you realize that maybe you could do it different. And it doesn't mean that you don't love what you do, but maybe it's just a different environment you want to do it in, and you set out on that endeavor, and it's scary, but yet it's very inspiring, but it's hard. And so I would just encourage other women to have the courage to follow their heart and be true to themselves. And it's not an easy path, but at the end of the day, it brings you peace. And so and that's part of that journey too. Just like being in our 30s, figuring out that, dude, this is exhausting. It's exhausting because we're choosing to give our energy away, and we're not giving it to ourselves. And then in our 40s and 50s, to have the courage to just kind of listen to your heart and follow your life's adventures, and be okay with taking that leap. And I know it's not easy, but to believe in yourselves. And if we all follow our hearts, and if we all stand together, and if we all really talk about what it's like, then maybe the world just continues to become a better place, because it's so easy to hear how people think the world is so hard, and it is, but yet there's a lot of light around if we choose to look at the world that way. So I hope you have a great day and a great weekend, and I hope those thoughts help you kind of ponder some things today. So happy, great Friday morning from Iowa, and bye-bye.